What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we have some breaking Detroit Lions news. The Lions have signed their late round draft pick, Jason Huntley, so let's get it started. Welcome in, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here, and yes, we have some more breaking news, man. I wish I could have put this in the other video, but like right after we talked about that first video, this came out, and that is Jason Huntley, who has now signed his contract with the Detroit Lions. So the running back out of New Mexico State / wide receiver has now signed with the Detroit Lions, and man, I was not expecting this to happen so shortly after we got the Quintez Cephas news, but here it is, so we got to talk about it. Unfortunately, we got to split it into two videos, but man, I'm super excited to see what Jason Huntley do. He's a running back out of New Mexico State that can also play as a special teams returner, as a punt returner, and a kick returner, and that's a huge factor and element that he has to his game that could be really, really big for him and not so good for other players. We'll talk about that in a second. But the thing that I love about Jason Huntley is he reminds me so much of J.D. McKissic. I actually have a video talking about why Jason Huntley is the next J.D. McKissic. Now, some people will hear that and they're like, okay, that's not very good. J.D. McKissic wasn't that good. But McKissic actually had a pretty nice role for us, and he could do a lot of different things, and Darrell Bevell utilized him in tons of ways. But now, J.D. McKissic is no longer with the Detroit Lions. McKissic was nice because he could play slot, wide receiver, play running back, utilize a lot of ends arounds, trick plays, reverses, whatever you had to use him. He had the athletic ability to do that, and he had the hands to catch the football. So you could play him at different spots on the field. But now that he is gone, I think, looking back on it, that was the replacement because Darrell Bevell liked him. I think Darrell Bevell really liked him, and he wanted to get another guy that was similar. And that's why they shocked everybody basically and went with running back. Because I was not expecting to take another running back. I think that's why we got Jason Huntley. Because he's not just a running back. The dude is also a wide receiver. Plus, he could be a return man, as I mentioned. And why this could be really good for him, and that could potentially be his role with the Detroit Lions, that could be really bad for Jamal Agnew. Jamal Agnew, who was our cornerback, mainly known as a punt returner and kick returner, is trying to become a wide receiver for this season. He really hasn't had much playing time at the quarterback position, so he's trying to translate to a wide receiver, and that's going to be really tough on its own because the wide receiver group is very deep, and he's mainly known as our kicks returner / punt returner. We've seen Danny Amendola do a few punt returns here and there when he struggled, but he's that guy. He's that guy, very explosive. But now with Jason Huntley, if Jason Huntley outplays him, I would say, in the offseason and takes that role, it's going to be extremely difficult to see Jamal Agnew back because he's already trying to fit into a wide receiver group that maybe our deepest group on the team. So Jason Huntley is going to make it tough on some guys like Jamal Agnew, but I love the Jason Huntley move now that I look back on it. At the time, I didn't understand it, right? But this is where you find gems, where you find hidden diamonds. You know, you find the great players in the rough because you necessarily don't expect to look here. You look elsewhere. You don't think of New Mexico State. You know, when you get Kenny Galladay, you don't think necessarily of Northern Illinois, but that's where they come from. That's where you can get great players. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I hope it does work, but I don't see a big risk here. I really don't. I think that Jason Huntley is going to be big. I don't think he's going to have the biggest role. You know, I don't know how much he's going to be just a setback. You know, I think Swift and Karen are going to hold that down, but Jason Huntley is going to add a different element to the offense, kind of like J.D. McKissic did, and it's going to allow Darrell Bevell to do different things offensively, and potentially he could win that returning role. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, man. But yes, the late round pick, Jason Huntley, is now officially a Detroit Lion, and we have 2 NFL drafted rookies left to go. So we'll see when those happen. Obviously, the news will be here when it does. And until next time, thank you, Prep, for watching, and I'm out.